Time for some Monday motivation, guys. Hashtag Monday motivation.
Only the best.
Yeah, so here's what you're going to hear in today's podcast. Did Nikki make it through the garage sale?
What happened? We'll give you all the gossip.
Dun, dun, dun. Donald Trump's Walk of Fame nugget. We talk about MoviePass a lot because, dang.
Well, it was in the news, and whenever you're in the news as a company, it's normally not for good reasons.
And when the news affects me personally.
I had so many people contact me over the weekend asking me how you're doing because of MoviePass. And
Thanks
I was like,
for caring, guys.
Guys, I don't know.
Thanks for caring. I appreciate that.
You're synonymous with it.
Yeah, I know. How did that happen?
Well,
you just talk about it a little bit, and the next thing you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you adapted to it earlier than maybe, more recent people.
I guess I did. Also in this, we talk about the pooping superintendent, Big Mac coins, fat tourists. No, and that's their words, not ours. Hiking, Christmas Channel.
When we just say it like that, it's almost like a very odd poem.
Yeah. It's weird out there.
Big Mac coin, fat tourists.
It's nice.
Hiking dates.
So you guys enjoy this podcast, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Remember, anytime you want, stop by riot.radiou.com. You got links there where you could follow us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, Instagram, whatevs. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear and get a hello from you guys.
Mm-hmm. So, hashtag Motivation Monday.
Hashtag have a good day.
Hashtag bye.
Dear RadioU, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the riot.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Nikki, I want a garage sale report.
I
feel like
had a garage sale on Saturday.
you were the one that really did something this weekend.
Why?
You had a garage sale.
I did.
You,
I set stuff out and I put little price tags on it.
So, how did it go?
It went great. No real negative people is what I like to call them.
Yeah, the people that come
ones,
in and they're like, you know what, this is trash. I'll give you a quarter.
Like when you sell on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and the negativity that can be there. And it's hard if you ever have done a garage sale, it's like in person. It's like, oh my gosh, you're that person.
You know what, this is garbage. I would never give you.
No, a lot of really nice people, and it was really nice weather.
How much haggling?
Haggling happens, I feel, earlier in the morning.
Okay.
So I had it on Saturday.
Well, the early morning people are the garage sailors.
Like, they knew what they were doing. And there was also a lot of people specifically asking, for things. This one guy came and he was looking for computer parts, and he didn't really follow the personal space rule. Like, he came right up to me, and he's like, yeah, do you have any? And he goes through a list, and I go, no. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't really have that. And he just didn't understand that I had said no, and I really don't. He's like, are you sure? And he kept going back and forth, and I was like, no, I really don't. And
you don't have a Ram stick around here somewhere?
I go, I have the exact opposite on all these tables, but everybody was pretty cool and pretty chill with it. It was really nice.
Can I interest you in this embroidered pillow?
Yeah, opposite stuff guy.
It's nice. Whatever.
And I was like, I would know if I had that, and I don't.
Yeah.
But everybody was cool and sold a lot of stuff. And then I directly from the end of the garage sale went to go donate it because I didn't want any of the leftover stuff.
Yeah.
It was 7 deep of people donating items. And it was full. And I was like, oh, my gosh, everybody after the garage sales were just coming over.
Yep.
It's like, well, it didn't sell it. Okay, we're donating it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was.
So were you able to actually unload your stuff?
Yeah, the guy got it. So
okay,
it went fine.
Cool.
It was good.
Sounds like any weird moments where people are like, I want to put my mouth on this cup where you put your mouth on this cup.
No, everybody was pretty relaxed, and I apprecied that.
Nobody came up like, Nikki!
Nope, not that I know of.
Okay.
No,
well, then nobody did their homework.
I try not to have the weirdness there.
I told everybody to go and stalk Nikki this weekend, and nobody did.
No, you're not allowed to know where I am.
Or when you weren't paying attention, somebody's living in your attic right now.
They moved in while I was taking a moment, and I had my back turned.
Totally could be.
No, thank you to all the very cool people who just didn't weird me out.
All right. Well, congratulations on a job well done.
Yay, I got rid of junks. High quality stuff.
Yeah.
High quality stuff.
And what are you going to do with the money? Buy more junk?
No, it's for a rainy day, which is today. I don't know what I'll buy, but
something.
Yeah, just let's just spin the show look-seeing and seeing if we find anything.
Great idea.
Friends by Friends Coke Freestyle Machines. We're all friends, right?
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, I found something for you to spend all that garage sale money on.
Yay, what to buy?
A vintage piece of America.
Oh, what do I get?
Well, here we go. Somebody, what was it, Thursday? Austin Clay, he came by with a pickaxe and went ahead and demolished Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I did see that after they had fixed it from someone else vandalizing it.
Well, somebody managed to get a little chunk of it. Just like a little chunk of it.
And now it's for sale?
Now it's on eBay.
Wow, so things you never thought you'd want to buy.
You could own a piece of the Hollywood Walk of Fame chunk of Donald Trump's star. So, yeah, right there. There it is.
But that means that there's other chunks out there, and mine's not the only one.
I know, but it's the only one that's publicly available.
Oh.
They say that a lot of people, not a lot of people have grabbed it. It was mostly, officials. When they came to clean it up, they were the ones that got the chunks. But somebody got a chunk.
Now you can buy it.
So you can own this piece of it. The funny thing about it is that you would think that would be like something a lot of people would be like, yeah, I hate Donald Trump. Here's the thing, whatever. Or a lot of people were like, oh, I love the Donald. I would love to have a piece of his Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
I feel like you wouldn't get anybody just middle of the road.
No.
Either people that are passionate to the left or the right.
One way or the other.
Yeah, but not straight in the middle.
Well, this particular piece on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, it's been on eBay since Saturday. It has not a single bid.
Really?
Not a single bid. Now
is it being is it confirmed? Or people not sure is this real? Or you wonder what you're bidding on?
I find myself dubious as to what it actually is, but let's say it's real. What do you think the starting bid is on a small chunk of Donald Trump's Hollywood Walk of Fame star?
I feel like you've got to start low. Maybe this person is not starting low enough, but I would say $50.
Ooh. Your idea of low and their idea of low, very different. But,
I know, because they think they got something.
But I think that really tells, because I think your idea of how high this could go and their idea of how high this could go, probably very, very different.
If they found someone who hated him enough, who was just so, angry, I could see spending... If someone were to spin up to $1,000, but I don't expect it to do much.
You go ahead and buy it, and you hate him so much you turn it into like a urinal cake.
Something like that.
Or you take it and you build a shrine to it and put a little golden statue of Donald next to it. I don't know.
Again, far left or far right.
One or the other.
Very passionate person who has the means to spend money on that passion.
Starting bid, $500.
Oh, that's too much.
With currently 112 people watching it, but no bids.
Some lurkers.
There are 5 days left in this auction, so I am sure it will just shoot way, way up on the last day.
Oh, really?
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, however that one goes.
Yeah, I feel it.
All right, well, that's there if you have extra money to spend. I didn't make that much at the garage sale.
You didn't make $500?
And I wouldn't want to spend any of my actual money on that. So
okay.
I have no problem saying I'm going to save my money and not bid on that.
Okay, well, I'll keep looking then.
No, actually, I'm going to tell you this. It's not going to be on eBay. I'm not spending any money at eBay.
Okay, well, I'll go over to Amazon.
Okay. Maybe there's a Woot deal or something.
Woot, woot.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Let's talk about somebody that you may know, a friend of yours that perhaps you've never met in person, but you hear his voice on the radio sometimes in the morning. But let's not mention any names. He went to the movies on Friday and removed his MoviePass from its place in his wallet.
Because, is it not? Now, I didn't catch, though, on Friday, because it seems like online, they're really trying to make it seem like it was a technical issue.
Which it was not.
So were they fibbing or what?
Well,
is MoviePass out of money and they didn't have enough money to run the stuff that day?
Let's talk about this guy again who went to the movie theater and he pulled in the parking lot, got his MoviePass out and his smartphone out.
Because that's what you need to do to use MoviePass.
And so, it seemed like a no-brainer that there was no way that the MoviePass was going to get him into Mission Impossible 6 without paying some kind of a premium. But The Equalizer 2 was a week old. No big deal, whatever. So not only you know what? I'm done telling this story. I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I get my phone out, and it says as soon as you open the app, there's a technical problem. If you're using a card, you will not be able to use MoviePass.
Yeah, they said you could use it if you were e-ticketing with select theaters that accepted their e-ticketing.
Which is basically no theaters. I mean, no theaters anywhere in my hometown will do that. And so I started looking at it. On top of that, it's a Friday, right? Every single movie, no matter how old or whatever, was all listed as peak pricing. So that means even the oldest movie that was at the theater, they wanted somewhere between $3 and $5 extra to buy you a ticket for that movie. Not if it's on the IMAX, not if it was in a Dolby, whatever, just any kind of anything at all.
Not normally the case.
Well, it shouldn't be.
Sure.
But that's their new thing. And so I'm like, all right, so not only, it was like, it'll be up momentarily. And I was like, all right. So I hung out for a couple of minutes, and it looked like it had come back. And so I was like, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and pay the extra $3, which is ridiculous, but it's better than paying $10, so whatever. And no, it would not let me buy tickets. And so I thought about just going to the movies, and then I decided, no. This
You're standing up.
This was how I had decided to pay for this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do.
So then came word that MoviePass.
Basically, they ran out of money.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to. They didn't have any money to transfer onto your account for you to be able to buy a ticket.
Well, at least they were doing that, because some companies would be like, no, let's just keep going somehow, and the money's not really coming from anywhere.
No, there was no money
to
left.
be had.
Mm-hmm. So I almost canceled MoviePass over the weekend, but what I've basically decided is I think I'm going to ride it out. Me going to the movies on a Friday is kind of rare. I normally hit the movies on Monday or Tuesday. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and hang on to this, go ahead and try to use it again this week. And if I try to use it this week and it doesn't work, I'm probably going to go ahead and I'll be done. Yeah. So
you've given it your all, I feel, with MoviePass. And
I agree.
It just it doesn't seem like it can possibly compete.
So Chuck says he's an AMC A-list member. I saw Mission Impossible twice the day before it came out on Thursday, and again with my wife Saturday. And it was a $15 ticket, so I've almost made all my money back right there alone.
But I didn't think you get as many. Well, then, what's the other company? Is it Cinemark?
Cinema and Cinemark. Those are two different things.
And it seems like you just don't get, that's why MoviePass can't actually honor theirs.
Right.
But when you look at those and what they offer for their monthly subscription, it's just not as much. And so, I don't know.
Chuck,
just doesn't seem to work.
I've been giving some serious thought to the AMC A-list thing. The only problem with it is that it's not as convenient. I can theoretically find an AMC theater on my way home, but the theater that is literally 5 minutes down the road from the radio station is not an AMC theater, and I love going to that theater. So, but the AMC thing is $20 a month, 3 movies a week. There's no such thing as a premium screening. You can go to any screening. You can buy your tickets in advance, and you can see the same movie as many times as you want.
Well, that's good.
But there's that 3.
And you can actually see the movie.
Well, and that's a real bonus. Look, that really is.
Poor MoviePass.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the RIOT is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the RIOT on RadioU.
You know, Canadians have a reputation. And that reputation is that they're nice and they apologize all the time.
Very polite.
But here we have a Canadian who feels a little more American.
Seems like a slap in the face to all Canadians who are nice.
I don't know if you guys have seen the video. It was being passed around quite a bit. It's a video of a guy driving some sort of a white van, a truck for his job. And it had just rained. Might have even still been raining. And you can see him intentionally hitting huge puddles so he can spray pedestrians.
The video is amazing, even though it's sad on the other hand, because, it's drenching people. But
if it was you, you would just be furious.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But when you look at it, you're like, oh, my gosh, what's he doing?
Because at first I was like, he's not. Oh, he is. He definitely is. He is swerving to hit the puddles.
Intentionally.
It's real.
So he was captured on camera. He has been let go from his job. His company has said publicly that he no longer
McDonald
worked for them, and he may face criminal charges for his actions.
Criminal mischief, they say, and that's what splashing is in Canada. So don't be splashing.
It looks like on someone's back camera.
Yeah.
And it was enough, and they caught him, and then it went viral, and they figured out who it was.
It's like there is something, well, it's hilarious to watch, let's be honest. But have you ever had somebody do that to you?
I have not.
I haven't either.
But that'd be really mean. If it was intentional, like if it was an accident, then I feel like if I accidentally did that to somebody, I'd want to get out of the car and
like help them?
Yeah, just go say, oh, I'm so sorry. That way they didn't feel like someone purposefully did it.
But you might be better off just to keep driving.
I know, because
they might be pretty mad.
They're going to be so mad.
They might be pretty mad about it.
As you scream out the window, I'm sorry, as you drive by.
I don't think I've ever been splashed intentionally. I have gotten... I'm trying to think of outrunning if I've been splashed. I definitely have dodged splash.
Sure.
For sure. But no, I've never had like somebody really just hose me off really good as far as the spray goes.
So the driver drenches two people. They're both carrying umbrellas, and they're walking as they cross the street. Then he straightens his course, goes back to like the center until he spots another pedestrian who has an umbrella. At that point, he veers to the right, and they catch this on camera, so they know he's intentionally doing it.
You know what? Just a heads up, and there may be people that work here that need to hear this as well. Like, if you're going to drive poorly, don't do it in a marked company vehicle.
Because they'll find out who you are.
Because eventually, you're going to get found out. There are phone numbers, public-facing numbers. You need to wait until you're in your own vehicle. And if you're thinking, well, I would never do that in my car, well... What does that tell you?
Seems like some people would, but even that, they'll get your license plate.
They totally could, though it would be harder to get that than
compared
it would
to the marked vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the ones where they're like, how am I driving? And then the number on the back. Like, I think I can find you.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So let's...
Yes.
Let's talk about Superintendent Pooper.
That is Mr. Pooper to you. He still was the superintendent. I've given a clue.
Thomas Tramolini. He is the superintendent of a nearby school district, but not the school district he lives in. Mm-hmm. So he goes running every morning, which I got to say,
congratulations.
Yeah, I go running a couple of mornings a week. You guys should try it. It's great. Something I like to do is go to the bathroom when I get home when it's over. You know, not when
You're not doing it right.
I guess I'm not. There's a whole next tier to running.
That's a real runner right there.
Where you go out and use the bathroom while you're running.
Where you won't quit your run for anything.
Heavens no. You got to go where you go. And this guy, he really had it worked up. He has been accused of nearly every day going number 2 on the right by or on the track at the neighboring high school.
Enough to where they noticed it, and they had, no one caught like if there's video of this or what, but supposedly there was some sort of surveillance set up to figure out that this was the guy that was doing it. So they say that they have proof.
They say that they do.
But we've never seen any video evidence.
We've never seen any of the proof that they say that they have. But he's been charged with low-level municipal offenses, including public defecation, lewdness, and litter.
They're getting him on that one.
Litter. Okay. Now, he says that because they released his mugshot, he's going to sue them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then, okay, what was the other thing I saw? Did he resign or is he staying?
That was the new update over the weekend. I believe he has. And I'll find it.
Here's the thing is that what I have right now is I have this article that says he is suing the police.
No, I think he's left it too.
Because he's suing them saying that not only has he lost income, but basically it has ruined his reputation. He is suing them for $1 million.
He has resigned, though.
He did resign.
Yes,
okay.
he has resigned. He was arrested, and it was back in May. So he had taken paid leave from his job. He made over $147,000 a year at that job.
Mm-hmm. He also was a part-time lecturer at Rutgers, which was an additional $5,700 per semester. That guy was doing okay for himself. But he says that basically he's lost everything. And hey, man, suing for $1 million? Woo!
Wow.
Now that's the American way to make money.
But I mean, it's just weird. It'd be very hard to meet this guy. Very hard to talk to him. Because I still want to know, like, why and the reasoning. And because some people will be like, oh, it's medical. I mean, he hasn't said anything.
Well, how personal do you want to get right now, Nikki?
No one wants to get too personal.
I'll just tell you this much. As a runner, sometimes when you're running, there is a sudden need.
But they said that there's toilets around. They said there were toilets.
What I was going to say is that I can think of 2 times in my running career where I was grabbed by a sudden urge and I just started walking instead of running.
Yeah.
Just to kind of slow things down.
Sure. Just to
Slow
tell
it
your
down.
body you recognize what it's saying.
Yes, I hear you, but you have to wait, and then you get to a restroom.
A restroom. There was facilities there that he could have used.
At no point in my running career I've been like, well, this is a good place.
And not like every day, like allegedly this guy. So it's very hard to hear this story.
This guy needed, well, you know what? We're not going to get into it.
Just don't understand.
But he's resigned and he's suing. And we're going to keep following this story.
So help me, we will.
Don't you worry.
We're
not
here
going to
for.
let it die.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So get back to work. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Now, my whole life, my dad has been telling me, I mean, there's probably a couple of things. I might be able to start a whole Twitter account about things my dad says.
There probably is already one, but
I might be able to do that.
This would be specific to your dad.
As a matter of fact, it would. So my dad my entire life has told me that one of the things he always wants is a tank. And he says, you'll always know where I've been because there will be smoking hulks of cars just on the side of the road.
So he wants one that you can actually use, not just like a lawn decoration?
Yep, he just wants to have a tank that he can drive to work, drive to the store, drive home, whatever. Like that's been something. And
what does that run on? Like what premium gas?
Well, there are some tanks run on diesel.
You think so?
I guess it depends on how old the tank is.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Just pull up your tank.
I didn't know where you would, go get that filled up at.
I mean, I will tell you that most tanks aren't street legal. So when you go to the DMV to get your license plate and you put you're putting the make and model on there, a lot of times.
Normally when you see a tank on like the news and someone's in it, it's a negative thing.
Right.
So people are going to be a little scared if they see you coming.
So looking at this, I feel like this is one potential avenue for my dad, though. I did not know this, but Arnold Schwarzenegger owns a tank.
Yeah.
He owns a 1951 M47 Patton tank equipped with a V12 twin-turbo engine. Mm-hmm. And apparently Schwarzenegger was on, I didn't even know this is the thing, Jay Leno has a show called Jay Leno's Garage.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he meets different people at their cars and stuff, and he went out there and
showed him his tank.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Schwarzenegger has it, but I mean, it just is part of the collection.
He says that, I did not know this, Schwarzenegger spent time in the Austrian army in the 60s, and he said that this tank is the tank that he served in, or like a similar model, when he was in the Austrian armies. He paid $20,000 to have it shipped to the United States in 1991.
Just for the shipping? Just for the shipping.
You're like, man, what about some free 2-day shipping on this?
That's not even for just the tank itself. That's how much it costs to get it to you.
Don't they have a thing if you spend over $35, you get free shipping?
Or I could choose the one where I get the couple dollars credit for like a digital item.
Or maybe for Amazon grocery.
And I choose the slow shipping.
Mm-hmm. The tank is 28 feet long. It can crush cars. And apparently they used it in this particular one to run over a limousine. But
So you have to have enough money to buy it. You have to have enough money for the shipping stuff to get it to you. And you have to have enough money to have the space to just set this thing out.
Get a load of this. Schwarzenegger said that he uses this tank as part of after-school programs. So troubled youth, if they stay in school, they get to come out and spend the day with him driving a tank.
The tank? That's nice. Well, then there you go. That's using the tank for good.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you told me, like, Obadiah, if you keep going to work, if you keep going... You're gonna go with Arnold and drive the tank.
You can go to the Schwarzenegger house and you can ride the tank if you're good.
Straight up, I'm in. I'll do it. I'll show up, Nikki. I'll keep coming in.
This is your week then.
If you can, you need to talk to Arnold about it and get it set up, and I'll start driving the tank. Well, I mean, if I keep coming to work and get good grades.
You're going for the after work program.
Yes.
How
do you get on that?
That's something he needs to sign up for.
I want it.
All right. Well, I'll work on that for you. That's a we'll see.
Okay.
That is a we'll see.
It sure is.
Your morning, but without yelling, laughing, or music.
Don't deprive me of that.
We wouldn't dream of it. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Sometimes something happens in the news that pulls us in personally. And I experienced that just moments ago when during a newscast, Nikki went, whoa, 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 whoa.
I turned it up. I want to hear it.
I need to hear about that.
I want a Big MacCoin. I would love one.
Do you now?
So it seems like Thursday you can go to McDonald's locations. Mm-hmm. And I think, if I heard it right, if you order a Big Mac, you get a coin.
You do?
Possibly.
Yes. You will.
You don't want to do a blanket statement just in case.
According to McDonald's, there are 14,000 McDonald's in the United States that will be participating in this promotion in which, as Nikki said, starting at lunch on this Thursday, you'll go in and buy a Big Mac, and you'll get a Big Mac and a MacCoin.
So the coin is like the commemorative 50 years of the Big Mac. Mm-hmm. And then you can use that coin on another day through the rest of this year, and it gets you a Big Mac.
That's exactly right.
I want a coin.
These coins, by the way, there are 5 different coins.
Oh, really?
One representing each decade in which the Big Mac has existed. The 70s showcases the decade's flower power. The 80s
I don't want that one.
alludes to pop art. The 90s defined by bold, abstract shapes. The early aughts, specifically focusing on technology that was at the forefront of the turn of the century. And the 10s, MacCoin calling attention to the evolution of communication. That's what they say.
So the coins that you could possibly get on Thursday.
Yeah, that means people driving around getting 5 Big Macs.
You go through the drive-thru 5 times, or better, you go through 5 different McDonald's locations.
Yeah, now you're hunting down each and every one of those, and you're keeping them instead of trading them in for a Big Mac.
It's like when you were a kid and you got the same Happy Meal toy, and you wanted your mom to ask them to trade it out.
Did you see if they have one of the other Power Rangers?
Because I already have this.
I already have this one.
Well, I want one. I would like a coin.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'd spin the coin. We'll see if I develop an attachment to it.
Well, that was the question I had when looking at it is, do you think that maybe they would do this, and then when you go to get your free Big Mac, do you get to keep your coin? But see, if you kept your coin,
you probably do you turn it in, and then they can turn it in from their first marriage to that gold company and melt it down?
Maybe.
It's like from their first Big Mac promotion.
I would like to know how many of these they get back. So, because
the ratio of it,
yeah, because
I want to keep mine. I wouldn't turn it in.
If they get enough of them back, then they could do this promotion again.
Sometime this year?
Well, I mean, whenever they would decide to do it.
They're 50-year commemoratives, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to, it's good for this year.
Well, no, I realize that is true, but you could do it. I don't know. I'm just saying they're releasing their own currency.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of people are doing digital currency, bit mining and stuff. This is a McDonald's literally minting their own coins and releasing them in the wild. So I have to wonder at what point when they get them back, are they like, well,
what do we do
this
now?
Worked so well. Here's the Big Mac dollar. And these are going back up. Who knows? McDonald's builds its own microeconomy. This is the first step in the franchise wars.
We can get behind that. We can do that.
Pretty soon, McDonald's starts selling other goods.
Next thing I know, when I go to turn my coins in at the Coinstar thing, because piggy bank is full, and you get the kickback of this isn't not American currency. And then you're like, what's this? Oh, it's my Big Mac coin.
Oh, shoot. And look, it's worth more than $1.
Yeah. It's like, why do I get this back?
I put all my money in Big Mac.
Well, I want to go Thursday, so
Yeah, but does that mean you got to take all the bread off? And
Yeah, you can ask for them to...
a Big Mac with no bread?
Yeah, they totally do that.
Yeah,
It
okay.
looks great, too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with that sauce all over it.
Really sad when you take the bread off a sandwich. It's very disappointing.
It's not. You gotta transform how you think about it, Nikki.
Right. I don't care. Just give me the coin.
If you're looking for a peaceful start to your morning, you should look somewhere else. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Here's the thing. On Friday, I tried to go to the movies and use my MoviePass. But MoviePass was out of money.
MoviePass was sick that day.
It was.
Did it work on Saturday and Sunday, or
I believe so. They borrowed.
they got money from something?
I'm getting to the point where they're borrowing money to pay for me to go to the movies. I'm starting to feel like I'm taking advantage of them. Where I'm just like, you know what, guys?
But you're giving them your money. They should already have enough.
I know, but it's almost like having a friend that it just keeps buying you gifts. And it's like, look, you can't afford this. You can't afford this. Let's just stop, all right? But yes, I'm going to need to remove my $10 a month from them, which is going to just hurt them more.
Sure.
So what they really need me to do is subscribe to MoviePass and then not pay them. Or excuse me, keep paying them, but not go to the movies.
Not go to actually see something.
That would really help their company a lot. So the other one that I've heard a lot of people talking about is a company called Cinemia. Now, people keep calling it Cinema, but it's Cinemia. Now, Cinemia is this. Cinemia is, it's like MoviePass, but it's way more limited. So, for example, they offer a package that is $13.99 a month, and that's part of their summer sale.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper than it normally is, but you can only go to the movies 3 times in a month.
That doesn't seem enough to make it a deal or to entice me. Whereas, like, AMC one, like you said, is 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
And then the Cinemark one...
That's like
I remember
once a month.
It was ridiculous.
It's a joke.
It was lame. It was like, I would want to go to the movies more often if I have this. If I'm paying a monthly fee, I would want to be able to feel like I got a deal. And that one did not feel like a deal.
Every time I read the Cinemark one, I'm just like, guys.
I keep thinking I'm reading it wrong.
Have you guys ever looked at your offering?
It's like, you may only go once a month. And if you bring someone with you, it's terrible. It's just bad.
It's $9. Okay, their movie club is $9 a month, which gets you 1 2D ticket per month.
Isn't that like, I could do that on my own?
You get 20% off snacks, and there are no online ticket fees. Why is there an online fee to buy a ticket? What's wrong with you people?
There's always an online fee.
Not with Marcus.
There is. We just don't.
As long as you're part of their movie rewards program, they don't charge you.
That's free. They offer theirs for free, but you still have to have something.
Oh, you hand them your email address and you don't pay for anything. Whatever. Even the popcorn's free on certain days of the week. But okay, that's what Cinemia offers. You can go $13.99 a month and get 3 movie tickets. They do an $8.99 a month that is 2 movie tickets.
A month?
Yeah, and you get with those, you get one like a 3D or IMAX movie.
Gotcha.
Is one of your 3. It's really not that bad if you consider, like, if you did $5 Tuesday and you did that 4 times a month, that would be $20. 3 times a month would be $15. So this is like $1 less than that. And you could go any day that you wanted.
I don't know. These are not enticing.
Honestly, the AMC one is the best one if you live in a place where AMC is convenient. They're $20 a month, and you get 3 tickets a week. And as far as I understand it, no restrictions.
Sure.
So you can go to
no blackout dates.
Cinemia has blackout dates, depending on when you go.
It's like when you're trying to book an airline ticket. Like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to go then.
No,
it's a holiday.
With AMC, you can go to IMAX ones, you can go to Dolby ones, like whatever their thing is.
The heart of this, though, still is for me. There's only certain times of the year where I'd be actually interested in a pass for movies, because other times of the year, the movie showings are not good. Like the offerings that we are being given as movies, I mean, there's nothing good to see.
It breeds a different mentality.
Yeah.
That's what, when I was using my MoviePass a lot, I was literally like, hey, I'm just going to the movies and I'll just see what's available and I'll watch something. I mean, there were weeks when I didn't do that, but then there were a lot of weeks when sometimes I went 2 or 3 times to kind of see what had come out.
Really depends.
Yeah. But these days, I'm not using my MoviePass at all because it doesn't work.
I'd rather take a look at a year and see how many movies am I going to and do the math. Like, it might just be better for me to go during a $5 showing.
Well, you know what? Yes, but like for me,
it was
fun. I enjoyed going to just go. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to the movies. And I didn't feel like I was wasting money because you were like, I'm just paying $10 a month. I go to the movies. It's what I do.
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep, they can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Look, I don't know how much you read the news and or celebrity gossip. Nikki and I, do a lot of that.
No, not really. It's hard because
don't we? Don't we?
It's in with the other news.
Right. We're not doing it on purpose.
It's just there.
But it's there.
And then it's frustrating when you're like, oh, have you heard? And you're like, yeah, I did hear.
Yes, I did hear.
I did read all about it.
And by the way, you actually gave some of the details wrong.
But we don't want to.
That's how much I'm up on it, even though I don't want to be. So did you see with Demi Lovato last week? She was back in rehab, and she'd almost died from an overdose. And I've been reading some of the responses to that, and one of them was so good, I felt like it was one we should look at. Kelsey Grammer.
Yes.
Who,
he's had his own struggles.
He has. And he said that to give advice to somebody that was struggling with addiction, he said his number one piece of advice is to forgive yourself. Boy, it's really good, guys. That's a good one because, it's funny. We talk a lot, and I've talked a lot on the show about cycles of behavior, where you swear you're not going to do something again. You swear you're not going to do something again. Then you do it. Then you feel terrible. Then you kind of pick yourself up by the bootstraps and swear you won't do it again. And you just get caught in this kind of cycle of behavior. And you got to break the cycle somewhere. It's funny. God is willing to forgive us. Jesus will literally forgive you for anything you have ever done. And that's a lot of times the easy part. God will forgive you, but will you be willing to forgive yourself? Because if you're willing to accept God's forgiveness and then take a hard look at yourself and say, hey, if God can forgive me, then I've got to be able to forgive me too. Dude, talk about unlocking something, because at that point, you really do begin to break the cycle of behavior. Because let's say you're addicted to something and you do it again, and afterwards God forgives you and you forgive yourself. All of a sudden that guilt part of the cycle is broken. Well, guess what happens when the guilt part of the cycle is broken? Look at a circle. You take part of the circle out, what happens? The circle's not there anymore. It's not a circle. And so you stop feeding back into that behavior again and again and again. Now, look, forgiving yourself might not be easy. Maybe you've done a lot of things that you're really embarrassed or ashamed of. Okay, let's start with something easier. God forgives you. Jesus literally forgives you. Just ask him and accept it and say, God, I need that. I need your forgiveness. Here's what I've done. And man, tell God, he knows, but lay it all out. Don't be afraid to say it all. Like, lay it all on the table. God, here's what I've done, and I need you to forgive me. And as you forgive me, teach me to forgive myself. And God, break this cycle in my life. I want to be free. And listen, God wants you to be free. He doesn't want you stuck in behavior. He does not want you to live the rest of your life stuck. So start today. Ask God for forgiveness. Have him teach you how to forgive yourself. He's the best at forgiving, so he can totally teach you.
Having a bad day? Blame the Riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. RadioU.
You guys ready? Because it's time. It's time for us to address it because it's real.
What is it?
It is real, Nikki. You just experienced it. It's everywhere. Our phones are listening to us.
Yeah, it's weird and we do all experience it, where you guys are talking about something and then suddenly the ad or Facebook this or something that will reflect what you were just talking about. It's very odd.
They haven't copped to it yet. Everyone says, all the companies are like, no, we don't do that. Now, remember, these are the same people that are like, we don't sell your data. We would never, whatever.
Whoops.
Like, I don't know who's going to be the first to crack, who's going to prove it, who's going to make it work. But I'm telling you right now,
someone needs to try.
Your phone is listening to you all the time.
Well, we were talking about, MoviePass, their problems over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about other MoviePass type services, including AMC has one. And then what do you think I get right after we're talking about that?
I
get an email from
AMC.
I haven't gone there in forever. There's no reason why I should be getting something from them. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
Very odd.
And no, it's not odd, Nikki. It's right on schedule. The plan is working. They are listening to us. I'm telling you, it's coming. Just wait. Remember that scene in Batman The Dark Knight where Batman was able to use all the phones to find the Joker? This is it, man.
Well, it's even scarier when it is verbally you're saying something, like you'll talk about an item, and then suddenly it shows for the ad on Facebook from Amazon for the items that you were talking about, not web searching about, not looking up on your own, but talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Very
happens.
weird.
I just posted about it, and I've had so many people that are like, yep, this happened to me, it's happened to me, it's happened to me. I think it happens too much to be anecdotal.
Sure.
It is out there and it's happening. You're talking, your phone is listening. I'm telling you what, if it wasn't for the fact that I would just be an outcast, I think I could get rid of my smartphone.
For that reason? Or
just
there's
to get
lots
rid
of reasons.
There are lots of reasons, but I just feel like the level of privacy, I feel like we're one or two clicks away from this net that we have happily walked into just cinching around us and we're done. And we've all done it. I don't know. Now I'm getting old, conspiracy theory, old school, whatever. But I mean, you think about it. You read a book like 1984, and one of the most oppressive things in that is that every morning you wake up, there's a TV that basically you have to watch, and your TV has a camera on it, and it watches you. And the government forced everyone to have those devices in their homes. They didn't force us. We paid for them.
What screen size?
We paid.
We paid happily for
to
it.
put all of those devices. It was a negative sell. We were asking them how much we could pay to get them. It's crazy, dude. It is crazy. So your phone's listening. Just letting you know.
Don't talk too much about it. I don't want you to go missing.
I'm telling you, it's coming. You're he got too close.
He knew too much. He's got to go.
He knew what was going on.
It's just weird.
Well, I can't prove it. And people think I'm dumb anyway. So the government's like, oh, yeah.
They'll think he's crazy.
Keep telling them. They'll believe you.
Don't worry.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
How would you like to be referred to as a tourist? Nobody wants to look like a tourist, right?
When you go traveling, you want to blend in a little bit. But unless that's your thing, then you don't mind.
What if people start referring to you as a fat tourist?
It's even worse. These pictures are terrible.
Well, at least they blurred out their faces, I guess.
But, can you imagine you went on vacation, you had a lovely time, right? And then months later, you're looking at this article, just a random one about Greece, and you're like, oh, I was in Greece. And then suddenly you see you there,
and
even though
your face is blurred, but you know it's you.
But you know it's your body.
So here's the deal. Santorini, it's a Greek island, and it gets visited by 5 cruise ships a day, which brings about...
That's a lot of people.
About 1,200 tourists a day between the different cruise ships, yeah. So... They say that the big problem, and they have photos, is that the donkeys are suffering intensely from how fat the tourists are.
Well, in Greece, it's a lot of up when walking around. And so they use donkeys to carry around. And that's kind of like the thing. You go to the Grand Canyon, take a donkey or a horse ride, that sort of thing. It's similar there. But the problem is that the overweight tourist thing has increased. And so the locals are now crossbreeding the mules so that they can carry heavier amounts of weight.
Right. So, no, like the donkeys with the horses, isn't that where you get a mule?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So they're now trying to make them able to carry it. But the pictures are terrible. It doesn't seem like, first, okay, that's on one side. On the other side, with a lot of animal like elephants and camel rides and stuff, they do not take care of the animals properly, no matter what you're putting on them. So I think that's the other issue that people are mad about, is that these animals are just not being taken care of and they're having to carry larger loads.
Hey, when I look at this, here's the part that bothers me the most, is that I'm seeing these pictures and these are fat tourists, and I'm like, oh, they're not that fat. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means that
Next time you're going to Greece, your picture might.
that means that they would take a picture of me and be like, "Look, a fat tourist."
You're in that grouping.
That's what it means because I'm when I'm like, these people look normal.
Oh,
There it is.
That's it. Everybody has a different perception of it, but animal rights activists are mad
I'm fine. I'm just a little upset about it.
because the heavier loads, they work long hours, 7 days a week, no shelter, no rest, not a lot of water. So they have a lot of spinal injuries and wounds from the saddles that they're wearing. So, yes, it's not just the heavier tourists, but just the how they have to work them.
They should at least give them a day off.
They're not getting that.
Just one day, Nikki.
Tourism doesn't take a day off, does it, Obi?
It should.
Does the cruise ships?
It should. They should
Nope.
take a day off. They should rest themselves.
They say it's 568 cobble steps for their normal trip that they have to take, and it's just too much for the donkeys.
Well, you know what? Here's the answer. Get rid of your donkeys and make the quote-unquote fat tourists walk the steps yourself.
Then people won't want to come off the cruise ship for it.
And there goes your tourist
there goes the
industry.
tourism, and there's the problem.
In fairness, when I'm on vacation, you know, they always show those cruise ship commercials where they're like, come to our spin class on the ship. And I'm like, you know what? You'd be better off showing me the buffet right now.
You're literally telling yourself the whole trip, I'm on vacation. Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not. You want me to walk up those steps?
I'm not going to walk up there.
Excuse me, you carry me up those steps.
How
please.
nice would it be if you walked up there and you just gently led the donkey up there? He didn't have to carry you up.
Yeah, because he's on vacation too, right?
He needed a break.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
I don't want to get too weird about it, but I'm ready for us to jump into August so we can get it over with.
No, last night I cleaned my closet and I put on hoodies and sweatshirts just because it was so nice. Like, I want it to be fall. I want it to be Christmas. I don't want any more of this summer stuff.
I don't want Christmas yet. I'm not ready.
Well, I want like early November.
Okay.
Like it's starting to peak out, and just you see it every so often, and you know it's coming. And we start our Christmas work for that Christmas channel, and I just don't want this stuff.
I'll tell you what I would really like.
What?
I would like early October.
Yes.
That's what I want. I want orange in the trees.
Oh, the crisp air, apple picking.
I want to pick apples, and I want to build a fire outside and inside.
Yes.
I want both fires.
Yes.
All the fires.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I don't know if I should just go to sleep and just pray I wake up sometime in October.
it's not going to work.
It can.
I've tried.
It can.
I've tried.
If we just don't get out of bed, our body will be like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Do you think it's bad for you to be in a medically induced coma? Do you think if you went to the doctor and asked, he'd probably just turn you away?
We'd lose weight. We'd
probably,
be finally rested.
We probably have to go to like Mexico or somewhere
Someplace
for that.
where it's
someplace where it's a little off the books, you know.
As long as we weren't doing it at the same time, so like we could vouch and make sure the other wakes up.
Couldn't like
Like, if you promise to wake me up in October, then I can go.
just set your alarm on your phone. You
no,
said
not
you
if
can
it's
trust.
medically done.
You said you can trust the alarm on your phone.
Yeah, when I'm just normally sleeping, someone has to bring you back out from it.
Well, what if you made a Google Calendar invite and you invited the doctor? So that way he would
That'd be
get
the one time that your alert does not work.
the doctor gets the reminder and he's like, snooze, I'll get back to it.
I'll bring her back later.
Nikki
And then
wakes up in
it's
2045.
next October, and the world's changed.
Yeah, but the good news is all that's the summer movies that you usually have to wait on,
They're
you'll be
all
able
there.
to get them all.
True.
No line, no wait.
Well, I just was thinking, though, I really would. And I'm very much anticipating the fall season.
Yeah, me too.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. Radio U.
Look, when you go on a date, people have different ideas of what makes a good date. My thing is I love going to the movies on a date because you watch the movie and then afterwards you go out for coffee and talk about the movie.
But you don't have to talk the whole time because you have the movie that fills in a nice chunk of it.
Because I feel like you can learn a lot from somebody based on what they saw in the movie that you watched. I love hearing the stuff that people pick out of movies. But I mean, that just goes to show you that's something I like. Other people are like, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to get out on the trail. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a hike. Let's get out
For
there.
a first date? That's a bit much.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a 10-mile hike, but
Well, I know, but that's starting out.
it's too much.
I think that's too much.
feel like there's not enough around to like talk about?
Well,
or?
you're almost like, why are we going out into the woods? Are you going to kill me?
Okay.
Just a little nervous.
Oh, I will tell you.
You want to make sure you know the person.
There's this one trail that I run that I always feel like it has a little murder shack on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be a place where you can observe conservation. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near that thing.
Oh, the bird places?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
It freaks me out.
No, I went to one and this guy was like playing his guitar. And I mean, I'm several miles into the trail at this point, and he's just sitting there, perhaps drinking something. I don't know. And it scared me so much. And you're just walking by like, okay, please don't kill me.
Don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact, but don't be rude. In case he's perfectly nice.
Or is he somebody who's like, I'm not going to hurt anyone unless they don't acknowledge me.
Yeah, and you're like, I need to say something, but I don't know what to do. So it feels like trails are a bit, like I said, a bit much for a first date.
All right. Well, Nikki, you know what? You would have done well to speak to this girl. She went hiking with a guy.
Yeah.
We don't know his name, but they went in the Glass House Mountains, which is just north of Brisbane, whatever, Australia.
Yeah.
So they went up there, did some hiking, and she fell and got stuck and injured her hand pretty badly. She couldn't get out, and he left her.
Well, and that was a date?
It was a date. He said that he was going to be late for work, so he had to go.
Well, now you know in big moments, that guy, you cannot count on him.
It's not going to be there for you. So then again, is that the case? Or do you look at that and go, now see how dedicated he is? Because this is a first date. He knew that he should be more dedicated to his job and not to me. But if we were married, if I took the same status of the job, I could trust this guy.
Because he'd be working hard.
Do you think that's what you'd think?
I don't think
you
so.
Don't feel like
this
that's
was not his best showing. He panicked and he left.
Yeah.
That's a bad review. You could review the date.
Here's the part that I don't. Okay. You know what? There was another guy that was out there hiking that
found her
saw
and
her,
helped.
and he ended up getting.
And that's the guy you date right there.
It ended up taking, how many people have we got here? 3 different people with like rappelling gear and everything to go and get her and bring her out.
Oh, how terrible of a date.
Crazy.
Well, again, that's too much for an early dating thing.
So your advice in this situation is no hiking on early dates.
No, you have to go more casual than that.
That's later? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what, then first date?
Movie is always nice. And like you said, dinner or coffee or something.
I think you skip, dinner to me.
You got to know each other before everybody goes spending all this money on all these dates.
Arguably, just coffee is a good first date.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that lots of times. But I don't really know what a second date is. So
yeah. No pressure on that.
Maybe I should have been a bigger spender. I said she could get a venti. I don't understand.
You actually did meet a girl who was like, no, I really would have loved to go hiking on the first date.
Why can't we go hiking? To which you respond, what, are you trying to murder me?
Well, it just feels not right.
You know what? Let's just not even go on the date. That way, we're sure that neither one of us is going to hurt the other.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
I want to put my mouth on this cup where you put your mouth on this cup.
No.